Radio.
Hey, run that thing up.
No, but listen to me. The thing is if he shows out in the finals and they still lose, he can still be up there.
Frenchman up there talking his language. We need to get this stop. No, it's you, and I still.
Radio.
In the East, Philly zero.
Yeah, can you get to stick around? Can you beat each other?
Hey, run that thing up.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Grade A Show. I'm with my guy Ace, Draco, and Clips. How y'all doing today?
Good.
That's
We got a great show for you guys today. If you're watching, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Hit that sub button. We're one sub away from 200 subscribers. We appreciate all you guys for subscribing and watching the content. As I said yesterday, we have a great start of the weekend with plenty of content. Today we got the basketball. Tomorrow we have Grade A wrestling. And yesterday we had the Pick Six show. Today we're going to talk about some of the best teams in the league. We have some Would You Rathers for you guys. So let's get right into it. Currently, the Cavaliers are on a 13-game win streak. I believe this is their third 10-game win streak or more this season. So I want to ask you guys, do you believe they're the best team in the NBA, or would it be the Oklahoma City Thunder?
To me right now, I'd rather take OKC if we're talking on the west side of things. I feel like as a team, based off last year and the way they exited, I'm gonna have more faith in them for the playoffs. When it comes to the Cavs, I still don't see them taking out Boston, and they still gotta compete against the Knicks.
Okay. Ace, Clips, if you guys are there, who do you think is the best team in the league right now?
I'm standing right now with OKC, and then close tie for second is Boston.
Seymour, why don't you have Cleveland in that top two or elite tier as the best team in the league?
If we go I just have a biasness on regular season. To me, I just feel like they're the number one team. They're winning, but it's those key games against the other contending teams in the conference that sway me to make me feel like they're not number one.
They're fool's gold almost, especially realistically, Celtics matchups. Garland, he don't look like the same Garland as he is throughout the whole season.
He looked good the last matchup, but when you mentioned fool's gold, go ahead, Clips. You was about to say something, Clips?
No, that wasn't me.
You guys mentioned fool's gold. I know we touched on this, I think, last week also, but what's the difference between Cleveland and OKC in a sense of fool's gold? Especially when you look at the playoff success for both teams.
I think I feel like OKC got a better chance of if one man falls, somebody else is willing to step up, right? So right now, Chet ain't been the most healthiest throughout his career so far. If Chet goes down, now they got somebody like Harkenstein that could take his place, and it could keep on going. Last year, Cleveland, they dealt with their injuries during the playoffs too, and Jared Allen being out, that was a big loss. And then Mitchell fell. I think that's really what messed up their playoff run last year. So it all health.
because I can make an argument, but I want to hear you guys' point of views that Cleveland's slightly a deeper team than OKC when you look at the roster right now. Currently,
Cleveland is the only team that clinched for the playoffs so far.
No. They clinched in the. Some people clinched in the West. My thing is this, right?
Cleveland's the only team that clinched right now. Currently,
In the East, we know there's a team that's better than Cleveland off rip. In the West, we don't got a team that you thinking is better than OKC. It's no team you're just gonna look at and be like, all right, they're gonna just wipe OKC out.
So you guys, okay? Mike, what up, Mike? We just talking about. We doing good. We just talking about who we believe is the best team in the NBA between OKC and Cleveland. Draco, you mentioned something real quick. You said there's a team in the East that we believe that can just wipe Cleveland, which I assume you're referring to Boston.
Yeah, I can see that being like 5-6 games. I don't see that being 7. But
so, to your point, do you think there's a team in the West that can go 5 or 6 games with OKC?
Yes. Oh, Draco, go ahead.
Because I can run off the teams.
Yeah. There's teams that could potentially beat them, right? But it's not one team that you think is just going to dominate OKC. I'm thinking the Celtics going to dominate the Cavs. You know what I'm saying?
Well, did we expect OKC to lose the way we did last year to the Mavericks?
But they wasn't bad last year. That was a 7-game series. PJ Washington had a historical great shooting for the last game. They didn't play bad ball last year.
Yeah.
They played good last year. Now the Cavs, just like I said last year, they could have had a good playoff run, but it was just health issues. So I just have to see it.
So the reason why I'm asking, because I feel like OKC and Cleveland's in the same boat and same tier as they have to prove it. Or the label you guys threw out was fool's gold. I get it. The difference probably will be that OKC was the number 1 seed last year and Cleveland wasn't. But despite that, neither team has had playoff success. One team was battling some injuries. The other team had an injury or two there, but both end up getting exit in the second round. Both teams are respectfully one of the best defensive teams in the league, as well as offensive teams when you look at the offensive ratings. Both are very relatively deep teams. So that's why I was just asking you guys, like, what are your thoughts? I think, like I said, they're in the same category. Mike, who would you think is the best team in the league? It could be either OKC, Cleveland, or you could say someone else.
No, as I said before, I got like a list of like 7, probably now 8 teams that are all in that upper tier category. But I go, they're different in their own ways. They both got certain edges in certain areas. Like last night, I know the 7 through 15 guys for Oklahoma City were able to beat Portland, but they went through a few scoring droughts, and Portland couldn't hit a 3 to save their lives last night. Where I think the bench pieces for Cleveland are a little bit more reliable than the bench pieces for OKC. But overall, I'm going to give a slight edge to Cleveland, but it's not by much.
All right. So back to the other point, because Ace answered the question. So I'm going to run off some teams in the West that you guys think could beat OKC. Not necessarily handle them, to Draco's point, but the Lakers. I'm going to start with the Lakers. And since they're currently the 2nd seed, can they beat OKC in the 7-game series?
Yes.
As long as they stay healthy.
It'll take all 7, 6 to 7.
I just realized Mavericks beat OKC last year in 6. But as far as this year,
you said what?
Mavericks beat OKC in 6 last year.
They beat them in 7. That was a 7-game series.
All right, can we fact check that?
6, I thought.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, 7.
Yeah, I think it was 6.
I'll fact check, but continue with your point, Ace or Dre.
Nah, go ahead, Ace.
Well, no, you.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I believe Lakers can beat them.
Okay.
I looked it up, but it may be mine.
Denver. Can Denver beat OKC?
It's possible.
I give a slight edge to OKC there, I think.
Okay. Clips, you there? If you there, do you think the Lakers or the Nuggets can beat OKC in the playoffs?
I got probably the Lakers that could beat them. I don't know about the Nuggets for real.
By the way, to Ace, the series did go 6 games. Dallas 1-6.
I don't know why I thought it was 7.
Memphis. Can Memphis beat OKC?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I'm not going that far.
Okay. Why do you guys think Memphis doesn't have a chance to beat OKC?
Are they going to consistently be great? It goes back to who they.
Is any of them going to be consistently great?
I think I could count on OKC to be more consistent than Memphis, and play style at least.
Consistent on the offense or the defense?
Their defense is going to create a lot of offense. That's what I got it going. Honestly,
Clips, Ace, Memphis losing to OKC. Why you feel like they don't have a chance?
I just don't feel like we've seen too much. All right, I don't want to say consistency because Memphis is 4. I give Memphis that type of team. Like they weren't there last year. It's just you never know. Even with OKC shows promise, but what would they do? Last year, Cavs had the injury excuse, but I just don't see Memphis having the consistent firepower to really stop OKC like that. Honestly,
I think they're just as deep. I think they're just as deep as OKC. They have one of the deepest teams in the league, so I think they can go band for band as far as firepower goes on offense and defense. Just
is John Morant putting out the offensive scoring that Shea's doing?
The 30 a night, he doesn't have to.
Yeah, no, the other guys around him.
His 25 to 26 and 6 to 8 assists is just enough. Considering we have
consistently do that in a 7-game series versus OKC.
I believe he can. He's shown he could be consistent in the playoff series in the past.
Look at what he did to the Lakers 2 years ago.
I think he can.
And he lost.
That's true. He did. That's because Lonnie Walker wanted to show up in the fourth quarter.
I think Memphis has a shot because they have a deeper team, and I feel like they have more offensive firepower on their team compared to OKC. When you outside of J-Dub and Shea and maybe Chet, if he's on the court, consistently, assuming he's on the court, you will live with the others beating you. If they're making their shots, the Isaiah Joes, the Casey Wallaces of the world, Lou Dort, if they're making shots and they're beating you, you shake their hand. With Memphis, you have to kind of pick your poison with the Desmond Baines, the Jaws, Jaren Jackson. You also have a Scottie Pippen off the bench. You have Vance Williams. You have Gigi Jackson. You have a lot. I think they have a lot more scoring power on their bench on their roster compared to OKC.
So that last matchup when OKC won 120 to 103, I wasn't too confident in that firepower.
Who played the game for Memphis in OKC?
The players, I'm confused.
That's another way to say you don't even. You don't know.
So are we gonna make that same excuse of who's playing when we get to the playoffs? Does that count or no? If it counts, then we can do that going forward.
Ace, if you're bringing up a recent game where I'm gonna use an example because I'm gonna look it up. You said OKC won against Memphis, right? If I go to the game and let's say Gigi Jackson, whoever didn't play, that does matter.
Ja Morant played.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I asked who played in the game.
I mean, I'm not naming the roster for different. It's 15.
We ain't gotta say I asked you to name the 10th man on their team. I'm saying like
Ja Morant played, Desmond Bain played, Edie played, the players played. However, when it comes time to line up my guys versus your guys, it ain't like Dallas. Dallas only had 7 people warm up the other night. Memphis had players. OKC won 120 to 103.
Jaren Jackson didn't play. Okay, cool. Not to cut you off. I was just looking at it.
He's going to be out for a while, I believe, correct?
I believe so, yeah, unfortunately.
But then that's like, all right, Jaren Jackson didn't play. Chet Holmgren didn't play. That canceled out. So now what?
Nah, they don't. They don't cancel out. I don't.
Yeah, JJ
what they provide for their teams, respective teams, they don't cancel out.
AJ didn't play. Chet Holmgren didn't play. You said with Chet Holmgren on the court, you just named him as a factor.
No, so, go ahead. I'll let you finish talking.
I get what you're saying, but they play around the same position. Who they mean more to their team and differently. However, they were both out, and look at the disparity in that. You really feel like if JJ was there, it would have been different?
Triple J, yes, 1,000%.
So then we can say
I get your point. That's why I was about to clarify. I get the point. Yes, they both equal. They're both huge factors for both teams. What I'm saying, there's a clear gap in the difference between what they value and bring to their teams is a gap because Chet is really known for the rim protection and he can space the floor. Jaren Jackson has been their most consistent player all year on offense and defense. So he's a consistent scoring bucket who you're missing, plus the defense and him able to space the floor. So he provides a lot more to his team compared to Chet, which is why I think it would be a bigger loss opposed to OKC not having Chet because they've been playing without Chet for most of the season anyway. So they're already comfortable with him.
2 seasons.
What was that?
They've been playing without him for damn near 2 seasons. Like,
So then to that point, they're already comfortable playing without him. Compared to how Jaren Jackson's been playing this season and what he's been able to provide, it's a larger loss in a sense of like the schemes and everything. Anyone else have any thoughts on this? Memphis and OKC? Okay, I'm gonna move to 2 more teams. Well, I'll do 3. Houston.
Yeah. I think Houston could beat OKC.
I don't know. I got OKC in that one.
I think I can go 6,
I got
maybe 5 because of the defense of Houston. But the offense is what's going to concern me for Houston. So I don't think they have a chance, especially if it's the first round matchup. But yeah.
If Houston goes back to playing they did late December, early January, they can definitely beat them. But past month and a half, 2 months, they haven't been playing the same.
I feel like
they have the pieces to do it.
I feel like so many factors go in. Like, how are you mentally? If you're looking down on the team, you can easily get eliminated by them. And then, all right, like, granted, 82 games. All right, we got to play Memphis. We got to play this team. 7 games, I just got you. My strategy, your strategy, my stars, your stars, and things like that. So, besides injury, there ain't going to be too much excuses I'm willing to hear when it comes to this panel of certain teams losing. Like, if I'm not saying no one's making an excuse now, but however, injury I get. But if some teams lose and there's nobody injured, then and we'll see about a month and a half at the end of April when the standings is set and how that goes.
Moving on. Golden State. Now that they have Jimmy Butler, do they have a chance to beat OKC?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I
I feel like they can with experience.
Okay. So y'all think Golden State can have a chance to beat OKC, but Memphis doesn't? I want you guys to elaborate on that because I'm curious to know why.
Memphis haven't made it out. What's the furthest Memphis ever got in the playoffs, realistically?
With y'all?
With Ja, yeah.
Second round, but I'm good.
When was that? Second round?
That was versus Golden State, right? Was it that year, or Golden State took them out?
It was against Golden State because they beat Minnesota in the first round.
It's just the way Jimmy Butler and I'm gonna say the way they carry themselves. Golden State carry themselves a different way when it comes to playoff basketball. And I don't know the way their arena goes and all that.
So Jimmy Butler's making this big of a difference?
I mean,
yeah.
To the finals.
You see what he did with Miami. Now he got a Steph Curry and Draymond. You got people who've been there with you or who just as hungry. Kuminga's probably might be back around that time. Pieces to fill in.
I love it. No, I'm letting you guys finish because I keep receipts, so that's why I'm asking questions.
But right now.
I remember I was told Jimmy don't deserve money because X, Y, and Z. He can't do this and that, but he's the
Who
difference.
said that? Say names. Who said that?
I remember we had this conversation on the show.
He didn't deserve money. Technically, he didn't deserve money for what he was doing for Miami, but what he's doing right now for Golden State, yeah.
He barely did shit for Golden State compared to what he did for Miami.
You just stopped a losing streak. Before Jimmy got there, they barely like a playing team. Now they look like a team that might make some type of noise in the playoffs.
And before Jimmy got to Miami, they haven't been to the finals since LeBron was there, and he goes to 2 finals.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but he didn't get another. In Miami, they wanted the regular season awards for him to get paid. If you're not winning the chips, they want the all NBAs and the other awards to come in, but he ain't take regular season seriously.
Yeah, all I know is
Because even you said it. You said one time. You said Pat Riley. You said Pat Riley don't care about Jimmy because Jimmy didn't win no finals. Yes, we got there, but he ain't win them.
Yeah, Pat Riley cares about championships, yes. But,
Okay.
But
right?
my overall point was, regardless of that, he still deserves his money because he's that big of a difference.
Okay, right now, resume for resume, right? I understand he went to the finals, but if you look at his resume compared to Paul George's, Paul George at least got the all NBAs, probably a couple defensive teams and all that. They're looking at singular awards when they're trying to pay you. They're not really looking at team success sometimes.
Depends on the situation.
That's why PG got paid $212. He ain't been shit in the playoffs. That's from them regular season awards.
So
and a little bit of stupidity, but mainly regular season awards.
I hear your point, but I just believe it's a little bit of both. And Jimmy, given the fact that he's been able to elevate his game in the playoffs, which matters most to most player teams, and has been to a finals. I guess now that's an award, the Eastern Conference Finals MVP as well. It holds a lot more weight, and he's one of the better two-way players at his position in the league. Is he still currently one of the best two-way players? Sure, but I just feel like he would have made. He was a difference in Miami. He's being a difference now. But I know there was some pushback in the past when we talked about it. That's why I was interested to hear you guys' thoughts on it. But okay,
I got more faith with Warriors versus OKC than Memphis with OKC.
Okay, I mean, outside of Butler and Curry, I don't. Okay, fair enough. Next team, Minnesota.
No.
I
I think maybe they could get lucky, but I got OKC.
I know that'll be an intense with the Shea and the Ant-Man rivalry going on and how they guard each other sometimes and things like that. Oof.
All right, fair enough. Moving on, we're gonna go to the Cleveland side of things. Cleveland's been on a dominant run this year. When you look at Cleveland this year, given they're on pace to win almost 70 games, are they one of the few teams where you like their dominance in the regular season is probably won't get overlooked compared to the other teams that's been dominant in the league in the past, like the Warriors, the Bulls. Like, a lot of people don't even know the Bulls before the 72-10 game, they won 69 games. That team don't get talked about, especially considering with this Cleveland team now being a team that doesn't have a top 5 talent star on their team. Is this more impressive, or is it going to be more overlooked in your eyes?
I feel like it goes to the conversation that we talk about regular season versus playoffs. They're on a historic run, good for them. But if they don't go deep in the playoffs, it'll be like, all right, what was it for?
Oh, now I'm speaking on regular season in particular.
I'm just saying, most times we think about regular season, we think about the playoffs right after. We don't be like, oh, in the regular season, this team. It might be highlights and good games that we talk about, like Joker's 30, 20 game is going to be spoken about. But then we're going to really go back to remember, oh, in the playoffs, then what? What did they do with this great seeding and positioning? When we speak about basketball from last year, we speak about key games that we individually care about, but we all zero in and lock in on the playoffs. We talk about the Celtics run. We talk about Mavericks run and things like that. And then we trickle down in the in-between series.
I think they just ain't get the right coverage this year for what they've been doing. And basically, Donovan Mitchell probably toned down some games to keep himself a little healthier for the playoffs. We're basing a lot of it on playoffs, but yes, what they're doing right now is impressive. Now, I'm not going to say if they lose in the first round, they didn't have – okay, if they lose in the second round to like the Knicks or something, right? I'm not going to say, oh, it was a bad season. You just got the Knicks. But, yeah, they're having a good year. There's just no coverage of it, just like OKC.
I believe, to Ace's point, and then I'm going to piggyback to Dre, and I'm going to let Mike and Clips go. I think it depends on the situation, because whenever we talk about MVPs and things like that, we talk about their individual stats, but when we also bring up the fact that whether or not they win. So I think that the regular season does matter in that sense, in variance. when I look at this team, you don't have like the Giannis's, the JTs, the Jokic's, the Shays. Like Mitchell's like right outside of that little realm. And back to Drake's point, with Mitchell toned it down. I honestly think he toned it down much as far as like, I think he just doesn't have to. It's kind of like Ja. Like he doesn't have to do as much, and that lets others flourish and improve. Like Evan Mobley has taken. I think Mobley's one of the better defensive players in the league. Garland's finally comfortable in the system, and he's improved vastly in this season. I think he's one of the best makers in the league. He's a great shot creator, and then they're benched and everything else around them. Strus, Sam Merrill, Dean Wade. You got to steal and gain DeAndre Hunter at the deadline, who even bolsters your defense. DeAndre Hunter for you is what Isaac Okoro is supposed to be. So I just think they're a deep team, and he doesn't have to. He's not asked to do as much, but when it's needed, he can go get you 40 if he has to, and he's shown that in a recent example when he played against Boston last week. So I just don't think they talked about him much, especially to your point, Draco, if they lose in the first or second round. But Mike, what is your thoughts on Cleveland? And then we can
sort of. I think Minnesota should have done what they're doing, because you got the two guys that are like the Twin Towers with Mobley and Allen. Then they got just a ton of outside shooting depth around them, like throughout the start lineup and the bench. But I'm telling you, if one or both of them go down, Allen or Mobley, I could see them getting eliminated very early in the playoffs. So they got to stay healthy. Like if Donovan Mitchell goes down, they might be able to survive. But if they have some hot shoot nights with the bench guys, but if one of those two guys or both of them go down, I got an early exit for them, to be honest.
Clips.
I kind of agree with what Mike is saying.
All right. Moving on. Cleveland. Currently, let me go back to the standings because I had the standings pulled up. If the playoffs were to start today, I'm going with the higher seeds with the play-ins as well. Cleveland will have Atlanta in the first round. I think we all agree they probably smoke Atlanta. They'll probably win 5 or 6 games at most. Draco's thinking. I'm listening. We listening, Draco. You think Atlanta got a chance?
Trae Young is tough, boy.
That's about it.
Don't play with Trae Young in them playoffs. Like, honestly, yes, Cleveland will win it, but realistically, I want a Hawks versus Knicks playoffs this year. That's what I want.
Knicks is winning, but just for the media coverage, yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think I'll give Knicks the slight edge now because of Mitchell Robinson being back. But
it's just Trae. I'm giving New York Knicks an edge.
See, let me finish.
He don't know.
I believe, when I say I believe Atlanta will have a shot against New York because they're going to attack Towns in the pick and roll. Dyson Daniels is going to be one of the differences. Can he? Now, we know Brunson got his buckets on the last time they played. He got, I think he had 35 or something like that.
He went to overtime, though, too.
That too, but he made them work for it. We all know in this league it's hard. Defenders is not going to really shut down most of the elite scorers like a Brunson, Shea, Tatum in those worlds and Giannis's. But you can make it difficult for them. And I think when you go back and watch those games, Dyson was making it tough on Jalen Brunson to get buckets. But Brunson's one of the toughest shot makers in the league, especially at his size. So I think it could go 6 or 7. Now the reason why I think I'm gonna slightly go with the Knicks is because they're the more healthy team. If Jalen Johnson was available for this series, I like Atlanta's chances a little bit more. But because he's out, I don't see them getting enough offensive scoring power consistently in the series against the Knicks to outscore them. But I think it will go 6.
But that's another thing with the Cavs too, right? You know, like when you go into the Garden, they got the noise in their arena. You go to the Knicks, the noise in their arena. I don't think Cavs got much noise in there, man.
It be rocking in there, but I know what you mean though. It's not Madison Square Garden. It's not. But I get you.
I want to see what you guys think about this. Someone said a week ago or 2 ago on some show I was watching, like, oh, Madison Square Garden, this great arena. But it's a great arena where all the other teams go to beat up on the Knicks for them to shine. None of the Knicks ever shine there.
Kirby hasn't lost in Madison Square Garden in like the last 6 seconds. Something like that.
They said Madison Square Garden is the fan of the best brand of basketball. So whoever's winning that night takes the crowd. Just like, no, that's serious. Like, think about it. People, certain Knicks fans might hate Reggie Miller, but what he did that night was impressive. So you just gotta give him his applause. That's why, you know, Trae Young, you gotta be somebody that feeds off that energy. Everybody can't do that.
The Knicks fans loves that villain. They always love the villain to hate on. Like, you had MJ, Braun at a small stint, Trae's now that guy, Reggie Miller to your point, Draco. So yeah, the fans feed off of that, and you need, as one of the better players on your team or one of the best players in the league, you have to kind of.
There's been plenty of great performances in history going back to that. Kobe, Kyrie, Steph Curry.
Is that John Cena talking?
Is that
We can't
what?
see you. We can't see you. Man.
You can hear me.
There we go. All right, John. Now go ahead. Huh?
John Cena, my boy.
Yeah, it's okay. You showing your age, my boy. So it's all right. You didn't get the joke.
You always got a joke in the talk, huh? Don't you, my boy?
You ain't. Never mind. You don't understand. Go ahead, Ace.
I watched SmackDown. All I'm saying is, goes back to that. But however,
Sorry to hear that.
when it comes down, I got the John Cena joke. But all I'm saying is, when it comes down to Knicks versus Atlanta in a series today, I got the Knicks.
Okay.
What does the other matchups look like? Are we doing matchups on East and West? Who would Cleveland?
I was just doing it based on the East just now, but I can go.
Oh, he was saying the Cavs with the Hawks, but I was just saying how the Hawks. I can see the Hawks getting one of them better teams. I feel like they might get the best of somebody. I just don't know who.
Because I'll be honest, I think looking at the standings and like I said, Ace, and those watching, I'm bypassing the play-in, so I'm taking the 7th and 8th seed. I can see. Look, we just talked about Cleveland beating Atlanta. Then they're gonna have to play either Milwaukee or Indiana. Either one of those teams is a tough matchup.
Yeah,
because people ain't talking. Those. That's why I was about to segue into and have a talk with you guys about the 4th and 5th seed in the East, Indiana, Milwaukee. No one's really talking about them. And Indiana, Tyrese Halliburton, over the last stretch of games has been looking like his old self. And we all know Indiana's great when it comes to offense, but they are sneaky good on defense. They have defensive players. You have Nemhart, Neesmith, Siakam's no slouch, and he's one of the better isolation players at his position. I just think you can't sleep on Indiana. Like, you're gonna have to come and play, or else you're gonna get blown out because they're gonna put up points. And then Milwaukee is doing what they're doing. They're kind of sliding underneath the rug. So I'm kind of liking where Boston's at in the standings. Because I think they can beat. I think they can beat Milwaukee, Indiana anyway. But you got the Knicks second round. I'm not worried about that matchup. I think they win in 6. So yeah, I think Indiana got a chance to even come out not the East, come out and get to the Eastern Conference Finals again. Currently, that's how high.
So like right now, right, when I look at Cleveland, right, when I look at the teams in the top 5, maybe even the top 6, I can see each one of them teams taking Cleveland out. I could be wrong, but I could see the Celtics, the Knicks in the 7 game, Milwaukee in the 6 or 7 game.
I ain't giving the Knicks no chance. I think they get smacked
By Cleveland. Nah, I think Indiana
dominated. I think they get smacked.
Indiana can make some noise, and even so, if they really play aggressive like they're supposed to, Detroit could get Cleveland. Mike,
I'll let you go.
I take Detroit and Atlanta much more seriously than Indiana and Milwaukee. I'd rather play Detroit. I'd rather play Indiana or Milwaukee over Detroit or Atlanta. Personally, I can't take Indiana seriously after last year blowing all those games at the end. I just feel like we'll have the same thing happen again this year. And then with Milwaukee, just the past few years, just been same thing over and over again. So until they prove me otherwise, I'm definitely way more afraid of Detroit or Atlanta than Indiana.
Cliff, I'm gonna let you go, and before I say my parts. Like outside of Boston, who you think in the East is more dangerous to dethrone Cleveland?
I honestly would probably say then give an edge to the Knicks or Atlanta. Um, One of those two teams. I can see Indiana, but Tyrese is just he kicked that. To me, he's kicking it into that gear too late in the season. Um, for me personally, like he's playing good, but I should have been seeing. I don't think like we need consistency. I don't like this is not enough for me to be like, well, yeah, it's going to carry over into the playoffs and they're going to be a heavy contender to dethrone the Cavs. Nah. So I'll probably go like again. I'll go New York because they got Cat, they got Mitchell Robinson, Brunson will probably come alive. I know OG Wananobi he can slow down Donovan a little bit. They could throw a little bit more bodies at him. So we'll see.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with Mike's points. I disagree. And the reason why I disagree with some of the points you made is you said you have more faith in Detroit, but in the same sense, you said Indiana has to prove something to you. Well, Detroit ain't proved jack shit yet, so I'm not. I can't take them over. And I love Cade, but the reason why I think they're a year ahead of schedule is because one, Ivy's out also. I get Malik Beasley's been shooting the ball great. Asar Thompson is one of the best defenders in the league at the wing position, but I got to hold off on them. Indiana has shown that during the second half of the season, even last year, they was good the first half too. This is the right time to get hot, to Clips' point. This is the perfect time to start getting in rhythm because now you're going to the second half of the season, you get into the playoffs next month, and you could run off a couple games, get the chemistry going, and you could get right back into the conference finals. So I think they're in the perfect spot. They just got to get through Milwaukee. The Knicks are the real fool's gold. We talked about fool's gold earlier with Cleveland. New York Knicks is the real fool's gold team because I'm sorry, they're getting smacked by Cleveland. They haven't won a game yet against the top seeded teams in the league. That includes the West. And most of those games against Boston and Cleveland have been blowouts.
I beat Memphis by one. That's it.
And they just beat Memphis. But I just don't see them. Especially because I think they're gonna. I just think the amount of messed up they're playing, the key guys like Hart's banged up right now. Brunson just got banged up. Mitchell Robinson just came back, and I just don't see Towns on the defense side of the ball being consistent enough to get them over a Boston or Cleveland. Especially the way Cleveland and Boston plays offensively, they're gonna spread the defense out. A lot of pick and roll. I mentioned it last week. Mikal Bridges dies on screens too many times, and then that allows the one-on-one matchup with Towns. And when you do that, you're at their mercy. You've seen it with Tatum. You've seen it with Mitchell. They're going to attack Towns. And even though Mitchell Robinson is going to be great, he's not better either in the pick and roll defensive. So with all those things, with both teams being deeper, I just don't see the Knicks being a team to dethrone Cleveland. Milwaukee, I'll give them a shot because they have Damian Lillard and Giannis. More so Giannis because Giannis is going to just, assuming he's healthy, I think Giannis is going to just dominate. Because even last time we seen him healthy in the playoffs, the man gave you 44 and 20, even though they lost. But he's going to get his. He's going to be a force to deal with. And I just think the addition with Kevin Porter Jr. off their bench might help them a lot with, again, others' easier looks to kind of steer the tide a little bit until they put Giannis back in the rotation or Dame. But I think Indiana has a great shot to get back to the conference finals.
What about Boston? Do you see these teams taking out Boston? Let's not forget the reigning champs. How do you see these teams ranking up against?
Without talking about Boston.
Right, we talking about Milwaukee. We talking about Indiana, the Hawks, Knicks. Let's get to them leprechauns. How do you feel Boston teams in the East, bro? Like let's talk about it.
Well, I'll let you go first since you brought it up. Who you think can take out Boston?
I mean, they can be taken out by anybody in the top 8. I'm just saying, how do you feel? Okay, not Raptors.
Top 8.
Raptors, like
they could be if they get in the play-in and win, they'll be in the top 8.
The top 8.
So last year how Denver lost to Minnesota. It was kind of it was kind of unexpected. That's the way I see Boston. That's the way I see Boston losing this year. One team might get the better of them, and you might be like, "Oh shit!"
The difference is none of these teams got an Anthony Edwards or Minnesota like defense. That's the only difference.
The difference is these teams might be healthy.
Oh, here we go.
That's all it's going to come down to in the playoffs. I agree. It all depends.
You're right, because we ran through without Porzingis majority of the playoffs. He only played 2 games. But anyway, to answer your question.
Nah, stop that. Because we ain't gonna act like Porzingis. Y'all had Porzingis. Y'all.
Right.
Hey, let me tell you something. That was the first time Porzingis made it out the first round, I think, ever. And he realistically,
we talked about it on the show too.
Realistically, he didn't even make it out the first round. He got hurt in the first round, right?
For what? For
he got hurt
last season, right?
Yeah, he got hurt in game 3.
He got hurt in game 3, I believe.
So to me, right, basically, without Porzingis, y'all got that same Boston team that can still get y'all to the East. That's still a good team without Porzingis.
That was the point I was making. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you said without Porzingis, I'm like,
no, I said that because he mentioned injuries and all that stuff.
Porzingis was like the third and a half option, fourth option. Y'all don't even pass him the ball. Teams was missing their.
Yes, I know. You be calling us celeb because you don't even know what the hell you talking about. They don't pass him the ball. What are you talking about, Ace?
Look at the times where he starts off hot and he just stops getting to him.
They play high pick and roll with him and pick and pop. They do give him the ball.
Okay, yes, you know what? Do. Hold up. Let's be clear. You watch all 82 games of the Boston Celtics.
I never said I watched all 82 games. You don't watch that.
Hold on. So you telling me I don't watch the games? There's times where Porzingis will have a great start, and
I put more money on it. I watch more Celtics games than you. I can guarantee that.
I don't give a fuck. What I'm saying is,
you spewing out bullshit. You can't say no basketball, but then you don't watch the game. That don't make sense.
Your feet is rattling. Hold the hair still. Let me finish.
What you had here?
There were teams missing first and second option. You're talking about a guy who's your fourth and a half option, maybe third.
He's definitely the third, bro. See what I'm telling you? You don't watch.
Definitely the third.
Definitely the third. He's definitely the third option. Yes, he is.
All right.
There was a lot of games last year where he was the first option.
I was about to say that too, but again, that's what I'm saying. You clearly don't watch.
You don't clearly don't watch. Okay, what I'm saying is
Porzingis will have a hot start, and you'd be like, all right, man, maybe he could go for 40 today. Then that second half just look a little different.
That's true.
By then, they be blowing him out.
They stop passing him the ball. Let JT start off hot and don't get the ball the rest of the game. We're going to hear about it.
Last year, they were using Brown as the opener in the first quarter.
Thank you, Mike. And in some games, they'll go to Porzingis.
My main point is teams missing their first and second option.
Anyway.
Now it's anyway. To Moose's point, he's the game plan if the stars ain't.
You breaking in and out. Say that one more time, Ace.
You made the point. It's easy to play a game plan for a team. If Donovan Mitchell's out, Mobley's out, Allen's out, it's easier to game plan for that team.
Sure. Yes.
Health matters on all sides of the basketball this season and in the playoffs. Yes. That's all I'm saying.
And that's why I brought up Porzingis. But to also further the point that even with or without him, they still are a great team. But your point, you talk about the first and second option. Sure. We already went over this plenty of times. I said it multiple times. Even if they still would have won.
All right.
Because you want to bring up the Celtics. I was trying to have a show without bringing up the Celtics. But fine.
What I'm saying is, first of all, you can't talk about the East standings and just ignore that elephant in the room. That's disrespectful to them.
No,
we're talking about
that's not
Pistons and Hawks. We know how Cleveland's going to match up. What about the Celtics? Can Celtics catch number one? Do you feel like they're going to meet up in the conference finals? Don't be shy.
I don't think they're going to catch number one. No one's being shy. That's again no one's just shy over the Celtics because we're scared to talk about the Celtics. Okay. You're
talking about Indiana getting back to You're talking about Indiana getting back to the conference finals. Is Celtics not going to make it?
Oh my God! This is why I say you need to pay attention. Indiana to the conference finals because they're the 5th seed. They'll have to go through Cleveland, which was the point we was talking about.
All right, who do you got going to the
Cleveland? We bring up Indiana, Milwaukee.
Who do you have going to the Eastern Conference Finals?
I have Boston and Cleveland.
All right.
Orlando can make it into the playoffs. I can see them getting out the first round, depending on who they match up with.
I don't think they beat Cleveland this time.
Orlando?
Nah, I don't think they beat Cleveland this time.
If healthy?
If healthy,
They were better when they weren't healthy.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on right now that year. We talk about Paul George's contract and how he's been playing. We ain't been talking a lot about Caldwell Pope, even though they're not the same caliber player, obviously. But given what he provides and what Paul George provides,
I thought he got 3 years, $30 million. That's.
But I don't remember exact numbers on the contract off the top of my head for Paul Pope. But as far as back to Ace's question, since we want to talk about the Celtics, yes, the teams that I see that can potentially knock them off. Looking at the standings, I'm gonna say it again because we said this when we saw about Cleveland. At the standings currently, I'm bypassing the play-in, so I'm looking at the 7th, 8th seed, Miami and Atlanta being the 7th, 8th seed. I can see Cleveland or Indiana. Maybe in Milwaukee, because Milwaukee's the 4th seed. And I feel like I said before, I think Indiana and Milwaukee has a chance to beat Cleveland in the second round. I don't, like I said, I stand on this. I don't see New York beating Cleveland. I damn sure don't see New York beating Boston either in the second round. So, and then 7th seed, they're going to smoke Miami. I think they smoke Miami. So,
does the Heat got potential to beat any of them top teams? Them top 4 teams?
Probably the Knicks. That's the most I'll say. I ain't touching Boston or Cleveland. I don't think they beat them. I think they get smoked.
One thing we got to remember about the Knicks is they didn't get hot until April last year, and if that seventh game against Indiana is what screwed them. If they got past that 7th game, who knows what happens last year?
They would have been burnt out for the next round.
That's true. With all the minutes,
they would have got smoked too.
They would have burnt out next round, man.
I honestly think they lose worse than at least in the 4 games they Indiana lost last year. It was competitive. I don't think it's competitive for most of those games against New York. For most of those games, I want to make sure I say that clear. For most of the games, not all the games, most of the games, I don't think it'll be competitive. Because to your point, Mike, they all burnt out. Any other teams, Draco, Clips that you guys think can beat Boston? Since Ace posed a great question.
I was gonna say Orlando, but it's looking slow.
They gotta be healthy.
Okay, fair enough. Moving right along. Right before we get to the would you rather's, I'm gonna just ask you guys: would you take the field or would you take Cleveland or OKC?
I'll take the field.
Yeah, the field look way better.
Okay, Ace.
The field, whatever that means.
So everybody else, yeah.
Yeah.
Ace, I'm gonna let you start it off first, because real quick, because you got the shirt on. I'll have the floor. Talk about those Lakers, man. Your Lakers in the 2nd seed in the West. They're playing Boston tonight. What are your thoughts on the run that the Lakers are having right now with Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves currently?
You want my honest thoughts?
It's your time. You got the shirt.
I feel like they're smoking the Celtics tonight, rolling them up.
Hold on. Say that one more time.
There we go.
I'm going to give you a solo can for this. Go ahead.
There we go. Make sure the camera clean and everything. The Lakers are smoking the Celtics tonight. The run has been great. They have great momentum. There's still some fine-tuning they got to do and everything like that. However, Denver's right behind them. We won't know until April gets here. And then even after April, when the standings come, you got to match up against every team in front of you. After this week, they play Boston, of course. Then next week, they're in the gauntlet. They play OKC, Milwaukee on some back-to-backs, Denver again. They'll get to really see how they match up against some top teams, the top caliber playoff teams.
All right.
But this is the time.
I love the confidence.
This is the time where we get to see somebody have LeBron, like they get to run the offense and pass the ball. LeBron gets to just score and cut. Since the trade, his averages has gone up. His assist went down, of course, naturally, but he's scoring more. He's efficient. He's getting to the bucket. He has a player who's like-minded as far as certain aspects of the game. I like how they feed off each other. It would have been good if they have a quality big. However, the ball's rolling now. And before we continue, I just want to say my condolences to Kyrie Irving in this historic, he tore his ACL.
Tough injury.
That's one of my favorite point guards in the league. I just wanted to say shout out to Kyrie. I know he probably never sees this, but hey. But yeah, I got Celtics. I got Celtics getting rolled up tonight by the Lakers, especially if nobody's playing.
So right now, could the Lakers possibly come out of the West? Y'all think?
I think they can possibly come out the
I think
West
they got a good chance.
when matchups get there and how it goes.
I think they have a good chance. I believe they have the two best players in most series that they play currently. Looking at the West right now, I'm gonna do the same method I did with the East. So Minnesota and the Clippers will be the 7 and 8 seeds. Lakers will have Minnesota first round. I think that goes 6. Basically, I think Ant-Man's going to be able to do some type of heroics. He's not going to go down swinging. He's going to go down swinging. I'm sorry. But they'll have the two best players in that series, more than likely. Then you have Denver or maybe Golden State. Regardless of who they play between those two teams, they'll probably have two of the best players in that series. So I think they have a great chance to come out the West. And it's the same thing with OKC. They will probably have 2 of the 3 best players in that series.
So you said you got Lakers coming. You have Lakers. I just feel like this. When it comes to Cleveland and OKC for this season, would it be a waste of a season if either one of those teams don't get to the finals?
Depends on how they lose, but I don't think so.
Yeah, that's how you lose.
I don't think so. Now, if they get swept, then yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's like 5 games, but all those games was close, like how Indiana and Boston was, I'm not gonna be too harsh.
Close loss is still a loss. I mean, I get it. You went down swinging.
Yeah, but it's different than getting manhandled like I used to bring up with Milwaukee and Miami that year, with Jimmy just completely manhandled the Bucks.
But just like the Hawks come through there.
What was that, Ace? And then Dre, you can finish your point because you guys were talking at the same time.
Go ahead, Ace.
I said the Celtics got some of that manhandling too. Don't just single out the Bucks. Jimmy was over there handing out the belts for a lot of different teams.
You see what I'm saying?
But look, just like if the Hawks was to come and beat Cleveland this year, you'll be like, oh yeah, nah, because of the standings. But for people that don't watch basketball, it'll look kind of wild if Cleveland lose to the Hawks. It's a couple
teams, man.
Couple teams. Well, what about the Clippers? How I feel about the Clippers if Kawhi healthy?
No.
It's always if Kawhi healthy.
I still like the Lakers.
No, not the Lakers, because right now OKC first round. OKC versus a healthy Clippers team. How y'all feel?
Oh, they play OKC. I got OKC in 6.
I got OKC in 5.
That would be the upset, right? That'd be the upset right there to crumble everything.
All right, let's do what ifs right now. Right?
We've got a great defense, but I still think they don't have enough to withstand.
All I'm saying is if the Clippers really get it going, figure it out, Powell, Harden, Zubac, Kawhi, they figure out that OKC team and crumble the standings and everything in the first round. We're looking at a different series for the rest of the playoffs.
You would love that because that means your Lakers got a free walk through to the West.
See, that was a free. I'm just for a fan of the game. You went through all this.
I'm losing the word free loosely, Ace.
What I'm saying is for the love of the game, if we have one of those bracket busters, right, on East or West, where somebody loses in the first round we didn't expect, it's like, oh, welcome to basketball.
If you
close.
If the Clippers healthy and they get it right, I could see them possibly taking out the Lakers too.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Kawhi, if he turns into that monster, but we ain't seen it in a minute.
He doesn't have to be the old Kawhi. He can just be
healthy.
Mid version, yeah. Because the way Norman Powell and James Harden's been playing, he doesn't have to go out there and give you 30. He can give you 25.
Lakers and Clippers kind of cancel out. Kawhi, LeBron, Harden, Luka, Powell, Reeves.
Hell no, don't cancel out. Not this Clipper. But I'll let you finish.
Why don't they cancel out?
Because Kawhi ain't been Kawhi. I'm not going to compare him to as a wash with LeBron.
Whose fault is that? When the playoffs start, then they're going to be like, hey, y'all, let's wait, Kawhi. You got to show up.
No
LeBron
one's saying that, Ace. I'm just saying I don't think it's a wash between the two because of the situation with Kawhi. I think
I didn't
LeBron.
feel wash. I just feel like they're gonna go at it, and it's gonna be like they're gonna be canceling each other out. That's my argument. I'm not saying that they're gonna dog walk the Clippers. What I'm saying,
No. I'm not saying that's what you meant. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Harden and Luka don't play defense, but they want to shoot the shit. So,
well, I will say Luka has been putting much effort more on defensive lately. I think it's been a lot of team defense, but I want to put that out there.
Braun been running hard now.
But
AD left.
it's easy for Braun because all he got to do is run. Luka gonna get the rebound and find him.
He running now that AD left, boy. Braun used to do a lot of watching, pointing, say, "Hey man, you supposed to be there." I actually see him hauling ass now.
Because he doesn't. He can play the AD role. He basically can play the AD role, like running off the rebound when the guard gets the ball. Luka's gonna find him, vice versa. So I think it makes it a lot easier for him to get easier buckets.
I just feel like now you don't have that defensive anchor you thought you did. So now everybody really got to be accountable. We really got to step up and sit in the chair. This win streak, I hope it gives them momentum. But like we talk about health wise, I just want health. I want health across the board for everyone, even the Pelicans. Like if everyone can stay healthy for this March Madness while we all get through this March, I feel like go ahead.
We got a comment from Peso. Celtics Lakers matchup. Who you got tonight? Well, Ace got the Lakers smoking the Celtics. You wouldn't be surprised by that, Peso.
Because, all right, this is what's going to happen. Lakers are going to win. Musa's not going to care. There's going to be something historic or players
don't
not
put that about that because I already said I didn't care about the game as far as who win or lost because I already know the narratives are going to be spinning either way. And I don't know who's playing yet, so that's why.
You know who I got? I got the refs. The refs be controlling some of these games. We're going to see how it's appreciated tonight.
Every time the Lakers play the Celtics, the refs have a key part in the Celtics' success.
Right. To answer the question, I'll probably lean Celtics. But if players are staying out, then also that would change.
I got the Lakers. Celtics got a flu going through the locker room, so
that's not
who's
good.
sick?
Porzingis has been out the past few games being sick. Brown got it a few days ago. This been going through the locker room, so I don't know who's still got it or who doesn't.
Fair
I
enough.
thought they just wanted a break, right? I think it was a real sickness.
Mike, he'll know that if you watch, Mike. He'll got it.
Ace tried to be funny.
I don't hear what he said.
He tried to be funny, but he didn't.
Let me ask you this, right?
I asked that question because I seen the report, but I thought it was just them trying to use that as them sitting out for tonight's game. I didn't think they were legitimately sick. Ace thought he ate, but it's okay.
So right now, right? Are y'all happy with the top 8 we looking at? Like, would you want to see Phoenix or Sacramento in the playoffs?
I don't want to see Phoenix.
I don't want to. As much as I would like to see KD and Booker, that team is just bad.
It's not working.
They got swept last year.
That team is selfish.
Timeout. I just want to say for example, for the West. The West standings and some of the teams are so close together that we don't even know what the playoff picture will look like. Even the East from 4 to 6, that can change.
Mm-hmm.
But while we're on the topic of teams and everything like that, I just want to say for his franchise,
you cutting
like the
up.
Boston.
See, God knew you was. Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me now? Leave God out of it. All I'm saying is, out of all the teammates the Boston Celtics had, who would have thought Derek White and Peyton Pritchard to be the only duo to have 40 each? Ain't that some shit?
I mean, they did play Portland.
But out of all the great teams Boston had, out of all the stars and everything, that's the only duo in Celtics history to get 40 each. Look how many stars ran through the Celtics.
To clarify, that's the first duo ever to get 40 on the same team, not just the Celtics.
Kyrie and LeBron had 40 each in the finals. Are you?
No, regular season. This is regular season.
Oh yeah, when it mattered, they did it in the finals. But I'm just saying, could you imagine that'd be the duo?
Does your Lakers have a ring in the last 2 years?
That'll be the duo. Boy, people get a piece of jewelry now. All I'm saying is, I wish
people get a piece of jewelry now.
I just feel like it was about time Celtics won. They had a good team, so shout out to them for that still. But I'm just serious.
argument without just trying to be funny, disrespect the Celtics.
But I'm just serious. But out of all the great duos, Celtics are not. That's the duo that we're gonna remember in history for 40 each.
Most people's not even gonna remember that. So
I mean, you'll hold us. You'll remember it. You'll let us know.
I mean, because I like the Celtics, and I'm high on Derek White. So
Like is underrated, my friend. Just say you love the Celtics. All right, and it's
I wouldn't go that far. I'm not you, where you love the Knicks, the Lakers, the Nets, whatever teams in New York.
There we go.
But moving on to the last few segments of the show, I got some would you rathers for you guys. I'm gonna start off with Zion. Would you rather? Zion Williamson's been looking like himself as of late. Has been looking really, really good. So I'm gonna throw some names out there. Would you rather? Because I think when healthy, he's an easy at least top 20 player in the league when healthy. There's not much you can really do with him. So I'm gonna throw some names out there. Would you rather? First name I'm gonna go with is Karl Anthony Towns.
I'll take Cat. It's not even close.
I'm taking Zion.
I'm taking Zion because
I don't think it's close.
Talking about the buffet or the court?
The court. I like
He's eating either way, right? So
Zion had 37. He ain't shooting no threes. It's straight cup work. I'm getting to the cup. Cat settle some games, man.
Yeah, but Zion don't be there all the time to get 37. At least Cat's there. Like,
at least
we're talking about when they're there. I'm taking Zion over Cat.
Yeah, I'm taking
comfortable for me at least.
Because sometimes Cat be there and it really don't exist.
We know Cat's the better shooter and rebounder. He's not better defensively. Zion's actually been better defensively since he's been back. Zion's a better playmaker. Zion's better getting downhill. Zion's better finishing at the rim. Zion's better at creating contact and fouls. And despite him not being able to shoot nearly close to Cat, he still has more of an offensive, bigger offensive presence on that court compared to Cat because of what he has to do. They're not focusing and keying defensive schemes around Cat. They're doing that for Zion. Building a wall, whatever it is that you may do, he's still getting to his spots. And the crazy part is, we all know he's going left, and you can't stop it. And he's more twitchier. He has one of the quickest first steps in the league. So, with all that, I'm gonna comfortably go with Zion over Cat. But Ace Clips, who you guys would rather have, Zion or Cat?
I said Cat.
Oh, my bad, Ace Clips.
You good? You good?
Right now,
Who would you rather have as a player, Cat or Zion?
I'm taking Cat only because one player can't put the food in. Zion is really like, don't get me wrong, he's really nasty. But like with Cat, you could just get a little more. You're gonna get the stretch of the floor. You're gonna get the 3-ball. You could maybe get a little post up. He may do an ugly, flashy pass here or there. You know, Zion, he's great, but like he holds himself back. I just can't take a player that like he's not gonna.
Have you been watching Zion? That food jokes. I think that might be dead now. He's in great shape, like phenomenal shape.
We gonna see.
You could tell Zion a tougher player, man.
Zion is a tougher player, though. Yes. We get that.
Who's putting the ball in the basket? Who's putting the ball in the basket?
I'm taking Zion.
Zion is putting the ball in the basket.
I'm taking Zion. Next name, we have.
Who averages more? Who rebounds more? All right, go ahead. Next name.
Let's go.
Next name, we got Donovan Mitchell.
Who?
Donovan Mitchell.
Or who?
Zion.
Would you rather Zion or Donovan Mitchell? This is a Would You Rather Zion edition.
I'm gonna say Mitchell because Mitchell actually be winning.
I'll say.
I'm just going for the player for player.
Yeah, I'm gonna take
who the team successors, player for player. Who would you rather have?
Player for Mitchell.
I'm going Zion. And even though I got Donovan Mitchell as the best shooting guard in the league, I'll still put Zion. I'll still take Zion. For the same things I said with Cat. Like, who did you say you had?
Oh, I got Donovan Mitchell.
Ace?
Ace,
who
you got?
You got Zion?
Zion.
Okay.
Who you got, Clip?
Clips got to think about this one. Zion or Spider?
Take the Spider.
You got Spider?
Yeah, I'm taking the Spider for right now.
Okay. Next name, Devin Booker.
Oh, I'll take Zion.
I'm biased. I like D Book's offensive skill set. I'm taking D Book.
Was D Book one of the people that was texting Kobe and still was getting swept? I'm taking Zion, bro. I'm good.
The Suns got swept.
He was a part of the sweep.
Ace, who you got?
Stop.
Zion.
I'm taking Zion.
Besides, but like, what does Devin Booker do, bro? Like, besides shoot and score, what does he do?
He's good.
He's a really good playmaker. He's a really, really good playmaker.
How good is he? How good of a playmaker is he? Look at their record. How good of a playmaker is he?
That's a team. That's team. Ace.
Not on him.
Individual. We talk about individually. He's a really good playmaker, but look at his
We
record.
did enough to get him to the fucking finals. Like, are we gonna be fucking serious here?
Anyway,
Talking about what type of player is he?
Hey, first of all, turn your volume down, bro.
At one point, he was talking about he was the top 3 shooting guard in the league.
He's still a top shooting guard in the league, but he's just not one.
You said it was. Devin Booker ain't all that polished, bro. I don't know. Both of them
Zion
has been.
is?
I'll take Booker slightly, but it ain't really
Zion.
like I didn't say he was either.
I don't know. Booker pretty
What is
polished
this
on
stuff?
offense. Y'all two over here breaking up. Look
I'm
at God.
not breaking up. I'm not.
Next name, we're gonna move right along because I still got the paint picture one next. Next name we got Cade Cunningham.
I'm taking Cade.
Ace.
I'm gonna take Zion.
Honestly,
I'm gonna take Zion.
Clips. Cade or Zion?
I guess Zion could do more. I guess. I don't.
I'm gonna go Zion. I'm going Zion for Booker.
I'm going Cade. Fuck it, I'm going Cade. Zion's been with New Orleans for how many seasons? It ain't really just been. You got to be
We're
healthy.
talking about as a player.
Cade.
Okay. I'm not gonna argue that. I'm gonna take Zion, but I'm not arguing if you take Cade. It's not a bad choice. Clips, who was it that you had? Cade or Zion?
Cade.
Cade. Next name, Jalen Brunson.
I'm taking Jalen Brunson.
I got Zion.
Boy, ain't none of these people in the same weight class position. None of that. But I'm gonna take even those random names like.
It's just the player. I'm just naming the player.
Yeah, nah, I'd rather take Brunson for what he does. He know his impact.
Clips, Ace, Zion or Brunson.
Brunson.
They don't even play the same position. Like Dre said, what are we doing?
We're talking about the player. We're not talking about the position, the player. Just what they do as a player. Come on, we play ball. We know this.
I'm gonna take Brunson.
Do we play ball?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Anyway, who you got?
I got Brunson.
Okay. Next name,
Brunson,
Anthony
bro.
Edwards.
Brunson.
Got Anthony Edwards.
I'm taking Zion.
I'm taking the face of the league, man.
I'm talking Anthony Edwards.
All right. Last name, Trae Young.
Taking Trae Young.
Definitely taking Trae Young.
I'm taking Zion.
Trae Young, man.
Drake, I wanted to say LaMelo just to see your reaction, but I ain't gonna do that to you.
I'm taking LaMelo Ball, man.
I'm taking Zion.
Well, he's out. He's not playing today. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Oh, LaMelo, yeah. He didn't have a good showing yesterday. We don't need to play today.
All right. Next, we got this one will be quick, and we're gonna head out. The Paint Pritchard edition, 6-man edition. Would you rather? First name, Norman Powell.
I'd rather have Norman Powell.
I'll take Norman, but third. Norman. Hey, so you got
Norman Powell. Clips.
Norman.
I would agree. I'll take Norman. Next name, we have DeAndre Hunter.
DeAndre
Peyton
Hunter.
Pritchard.
DeAndre Hunter.
It depends on what you want, whether it's defensively or offensively, basically.
I'll take. Oh, I said Norman last game. For this one,
It's a toss up for me.
I'm gonna lean Pritchard slightly.
It's a toss. It's a toss up. They both could affect the game crazily when they come in.
Peyton Pritchard and who?
DeAndre Hunter.
Peyton Pritchard. He's the best.
Next, we have Peyton Pritchard and TJ McDonald.
Peyton Pritchard, obvious.
Yeah, I'm taking Peyton Pritchard.
Peyton.
Peyton Pritchard, and of course my thing just refreshes when I'm scrolling through it. 1 second. I think my thing refreshed. All right, there we go. We have Peyton Pritchard or I did this to be nasty. Terry Rozier.
Peyton Pritchard.
Terry been playing? I thought Terry had cases he was dealing
Yeah,
with.
unless I'm placing bets for Zunders, I'm taking Peyton Pritchard.
Right now, yeah.
Peyton Pritchard, or this is the last one, Malik Monk. He's been starting because of the trade, but I'm gonna go Malik Monk.
Peyton Pritchard.
No, I'll go Malik Monk too.
I'm going Malik Monk.
They just gotta learn how to use that team over there. Sabonis hurt now, right?
Yeah, he missed the last few games because of a hamstring. Yeah, but that's gonna wrap up today's show, man. If you made it this far, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We're one sub away from 200. Leave a comment down below. Who would you rather have 6-man edition over Payne Pritchard? And who would you rather have with Zion Williamson? Also, who do you think is coming out the East and West? Are you taking the field or Cleveland, or are you taking the field with or OKC? We'll see you guys tomorrow for the great.
Before we go, I want to let our viewers know that Peyton Pritchard might be the first 6-man in history to win the MVP award for this NBA season. Thank you.
Okay. And he wants to let you know that the Lakers are smoking the Celtics tonight. So we hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Great A Wrestling Podcast. Peace.
Grady A.
Hey, run that thing up.
No, but listen to me. The thing is if he shows out in the finals and they still lose, he can still be up there.
The Frenchman up there talking his language. We need to get this stop. No, it's you, and I still.
Grady A.
In the East? Philly 0?
Yeah, can you guys stick around? Can you beat me to